So, let me tell you just how Bob Marley met his wife Rita. It's an interesting story to say the least. Now, this was the 1960s. Bob was a member of the singing group the Wailers, and allegedly the father of a daughter named Amani Carroll from a previous relationship. Rita was a 17-year-old mom to a baby girl named Sharon. Her boyfriend, who was also the father of the child, was sent to England when his mom learned that he got Rita pregnant. In her biography, Rita said she'd see the Wailers walk by her house on their way to the studio and suggested that her trio, the Silhouettes, which comprised of her friend Marlene and Rita's cousin Dream, post up and sing and wave when they saw them passing by in hopes of possibly one day getting put on. Now, eventually it worked, and one of the Wailers, a guy named Peter, walked over, as well as Bob and the rest of them. She said Peter asked her to come to the studio to audition. Nice enough, right? Well, one of the founding members of the Wailers, a woman named Beverley Kelso, said that's not what happened at all. She said,
My name is Beverley Kelso, one of the original Wailers. Going to the studio in the morning or evening, I always see this young lady standing at her gate with a baby in her hands. One evening I went over to play with the baby. She said to me she have a song to sing. She asked me if she could come to the studio. I tell her I don't know, but I'm going to the studio. And when I go to the studio, I would tell Mr. Dad. And if Mr. Dad said yes, then I will come back and get you. I went to Mr. Dad. Mr. Dad said yes, and I went back and get her.
Rita would, quote, stand by her gate with her baby in her hand, and she used to wave to us and Bob. She also said that the rest of the Wailers would not smile and wave, but actually make fun of Rita. Beverley said they'd, quote, bust out laughing and even call her, quote, ugly black girl and, quote, monkey. Beverley, being the only woman in the Wailers, hated that so much that she started being nice to Rita on purpose. She also said she was the one that asked Rita and her crew to sing, which resulted in them being invited to the studio. Beverley said that both Peter and Bob wanted to date Rita, which meant, quote, she wasn't the black ugly girl no more, which I don't know how you go from calling someone names to wanting to be with them, but I guess catcalling in all forms really hasn't changed too much over the years. But again, this is all allegedly, according to Beverley. But it became very obvious that Rita was more interested in Bob than Peter, and if the incident Beverley mentioned holds true, it makes sense. So, trigger warning. But Beverley recalled a moment where she saw Peter try to force himself on Rita, again, allegedly. None of the other Wailers were aware of this incident, nor did Rita know that Beverley even saw this encounter. Rita continued to come to the studio and work with the Wailers, which is where her feelings for Bob began to evolve. One of Bob's childhood friends felt like Rita was always interested in Bob, but obviously, despite the truth of how they became aware of the other, it was mutual and their storied relationship would shortly begin. Now, we're just getting started with the love story of Bob and Rita Marley, so come back tomorrow for another snippet if you want, but if I were you, I'd just go straight to the tube of you and watch this entire episode right now.